Good morning, guys. Today we have a bit of a change of scenery. I came out to get some studies out the way, and I thought to myself, you know what, let me make a video while I'm out here. So here we are. But today we have a challenge video between two pretty well-known and respected fragrances. The first one is Angel Share, and the second one is Oajan. I have a little 2 ml sample here that I have been giving it some wear, some testing within the past few days, and I am able to tell you guys a little bit more about these two now that I have given them some wear. And the reason why I'm comparing these two or making a challenge video about these is because they get compared because they have similarities between the two. And I'm here to tell you guys my thoughts and my opinions, my own personal opinions about them. Now, I guess we'll start off with Angel Share. Angel Share, as we all may know, it's very warm, very spicy, and with a bit of a aromatic woodiness to it. To me, it's very straightforward. Off the top, it just kind of punches me right in the face with the cognac, the booziness, the sweetness, and the cinnamon, the spiciness, right? And I don't know how I feel about that because yes, it smells good, it smells great, don't get me wrong, I'm not taking anything away from that, but it doesn't really take me through an experience, through a journey off the top. To me, it's just nothing but booziness and nothing but spiciness. The booziness, it's still very prominent at the 2-hour mark. To me, the cognac it's there, it's the star of the show. Up until maybe the 4-hour, 5-hour mark, I start getting the rest of the fragrance. In the mid, you get the cinnamon, the oak, and the tonka bean. Now, the oak to me is the special character in this fragrance. It gives me that aromatic, woody, earthy nuance, at least to my nose, and that is what I find most enjoyable about this. Once it starts heading into the 5-hour mark, that's whenever I start getting the depth of the fragrance, the base notes, right, with the praline, the vanilla, and the sandalwood. To me, the sandalwood kind of gives it this nice, soothing, creamy feel to the fragrance. Combining with the oak, it's just very well blended. Now, yes, I get that vanilla. Yes, I get that tonka bean, giving it that nice sweetness, and the tonka bean also plays a big role here, at least for me. I feel like it gives it a nice powdery, just the most minute powderiness to it, and to me that's perfectly fine. And I feel like the tonka bean comes across as that. I enjoy Angel Share more during the dry down, more than in the opening. There's going to be, those certain fragrances where you might not like them off the top, but you will enjoy them the most once it starts drying down, and that's the case with Angel Share, at least for me, right? But nonetheless, not taking anything away from it, this is still a great fragrance. It's very enjoyable to me. The transitioning between the mid heading into the base is where this shines the most. I'm not the biggest fan of the booziness here. At least because it's almost in my face a little too much. I am a fan of boozy notes, I am a fan of boozy fragrances, just not whenever the booziness is very prominent even after the 2-hour mark. Like I said, nonetheless, it's still enjoyable. But that's just my personal preference. So with Angel Share, you get great projection. This is loud off the top, very loud, very, very loud. You get a nice scent cloud and a nice scent trail, right? The sillage is great. You get a nice scent bubble around you, and to me, I get about 6 to 7 hours of performance here, and I oversprayed this. Maybe I'm going nose blend after the 6-7 hour mark, but I feel like this is more of a 6 to 7 hour fragrance as far as longevity goes. So to conclude, Angel Share, very woody, very warm, spicy, very, very sweet, with some cinnamon in here, some ambery. It gives off a bit of an ambery feel. There's no amber notes, but you kind of get those minute nuances. Powdery as well, like I mentioned, coming from the oak and the tonka bean and the sandalwood, infusing together and encompassing this lingering, cozy, powdery, almost creamy feel to the fragrance once it dries down, and that's where this fragrance really shines. Try this out, guys. Next up, Oajan. Now, Oajan to me is sublime. I tried this out for the first time about a week ago, sprayed it on, and it took me by surprise. It blew me away as to how good this is. You get cinnamon, honey, osmanthus, ambergris, benzoin, some labdanum in here, and at the base it's pretty much a very typical base to the fragrance with the tonka bean, vanilla, musk, and patchouli. Now, it's funny because with Angel Share I enjoyed more in the dry down than in the opening, but this I enjoyed more in the opening more than in the dry down. And I'll tell you why. To me, in the opening, the cinnamon, the honey blend really well together. And the osmanthus, to me, the osmanthus is that special character, giving it a soft, sensuous, milky feel, and it gives the fragrance a good well-roundedness. And it's very smooth. It's not sharp around the edges. It's not in your face like Angel Share is off the opening, at least for me. And that's what I find most enjoyable about Oajan, is that it comes across very alluring. And once it heads into the base, you get that benzoin, giving it a nice resinous nuance, almost vanilla-like, with the ambergris and the labdanum giving it a nice amber tone to it. Labdanum giving it a nice deep touch. But once it heads into the dry down, the base, I don't find myself enjoying it as much. It's great. It smells good, and I'm not disregarding that at all. You find tonka bean, patchouli, and vanilla in the base of a lot of fragrances nowadays. For good reason, right? It's mass appealing. But to me, I'm just very familiar with those type of base notes that I don't find myself enjoying it as much because I've smelled it so many times from other fragrances, and that seems to be the case with Oajan. But nonetheless, Oajan definitely encompasses a nice luxurious feel with the milkiness, the sensuality in here, the softness off the top, because of the osmanthus. I feel like the osmanthus is what gives this fragrance life. This is very ebullient right off the rip. As soon as I spray this, it's just filled with so much energy, and it's cheerful, and that is what makes me enjoy Oajan a lot more in the opening. So Oajan does last quite a bit. You get great longevity, great projection, a good sand cloud. It's not super loud, but it does linger in the air. I timed this at a good 8+ hours. I was getting whiffs of it even at the 9-hour mark. I sprayed it early in the morning, and later on in the day, as I was home laying down, I was still getting whiffs in the air. So this definitely lasts. So you get your money's worth. You get your money's worth. But if you're a neophyte and are barely getting into the world of fragrances, I don't suggest blind buying these. I do believe that these are blind buy safe, but they are pricey, and I always recommend to try this out before you buy, however you can, whether it's sampling, whether it's going to the store and smelling them off a tester strip or on your skin. But the best way to really tell if you love and enjoy a fragrance is if it provokes happiness, if it makes you smile, if it makes you happy the second you spray it and the second you smell it. And also experiencing the fragrance on skin and spraying it on your clothes and going on about your day and see how you feel about it when you smell it in the air. And that's when you really decide if you truly love a fragrance and if it's worth the buy for you. So I am going to give a rating for these two. Angel Share, I'm gonna give it a 7.9. A 7.9. Actually, I'll give it an 8. I'll give it a solid 8. You know, it's a great fragrance. I love it, but again, like I said, I enjoy it more once it dries down than in the opening. And with Oajan, I'll give it an 8.5, just because there's a lot more to Oajan than Angel Share. There's more depth here, and you get more out of it. To me, it gives me a much better experience than Angel Share. It takes me through a better journey, as I like to put it, and it evoked more happiness, and it put me in such a great mood the first time that I tried it on. To me, this is sublime, this is stellar, and you can't go wrong with either or. But like I said, I will lean more towards Oajan, and to me, this is the winner of the video. But that is just my take. That is just my preference, my personal opinion. This is all subjective. Some of you guys, you might like Angel Share more. Some of you might like Oajan, vice versa. But that concludes the video, guys. Let me know what you think about these two guys. Have you tried them? Do you own them? I would love to know. Until next time, guys, take care.